Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Massive Darkness 2 unboxing. This is for the Demon Dragon Enemy and Campaign box. We're going to add a massive figure in here. So this is the box. I have to move my camera just to show it off. So there is this huge box. That's the bottom of it. Because we have the giant mini in here, which is right there. So this is our Demon Dragon, whose name, is hard to pronounce, Grundertel. Yeah, so he's the giant, super boss. As a comparison, here's one of his Cultist minions, which are the size of, a regular, one of the regular heroes, a human size. So that's how big he is. Here's a boss card size. Just as another comparison. That's how big the boss is. Boss cards are pretty big. Or one of the regular size mob cards. He's super huge. So if you're looking at a massive figure, this is definitely cool. Usually I show up all the cards first, and then I show off the miniatures, but I had to show him off. Spikes on detail. He's got a little flare on his tail there. Definitely some great detail on the face. You can see he has a little ear in there. Detail inside his mouth, all the little teeth. I keep stabbing myself with all these spikes and everything everywhere. Not a thing you're probably gonna want to pull in and out of your boxes all the time. The only thing I don't like is, so if I look at him sit here, he kind of wobbles a bit, because his foot's not all the way down. But that's, he's basically being bounced by his tail. It's not a big deal, whatever. I'm not gonna complain about it, but yeah, it's definitely cool. Alright, so that's our big ass dragon. So in this set, we are going to get a lot of stuff 100% based around him. Now this one's a little bit different than the other enemies and campaign boxes. So with all the other ones is you could just buy this to go with the base game, Hellscape, and play it as a solo quest if you want. Or you can add the demon track, add this into any different campaign if you want to play this. The Demon Dragon track, the Draconic track. To replace any of your darkness tracks. So you can add this in there. So they're always in these 5 quests, but if you want to add them to any of the other one, basically what it does is, at certain points throughout the game, when you hit level 5 here, you're going to have this little dragon symbol. You have to fight the dragon. But you're going to gain all these other little items and tokens and stuff in there. So they're going to have Draconic Skills, markers, manipulations. So basically, if you switch to this, you're going to be influenced by the dragon the entire game. And then you're going to have to fight him at one point during the game, whether you're fighting him as a boss or not. So it's kind of definitely an interesting little add-on. It's not just, this isn't just a general throw it in no matter what. The cultists that appear, though, are tied to that board. That's the one thing I really don't like about this, because all the other sets, hey, I got extra mobs, I can add them in. You can't really add them without adding that Draconic tile, which then also means you have to fight the dragon every time. They're neat characters still, but just the fact that they're 100% tied to this board is different. So there's all these other different little effects in here that do different stuff. So the different quests is we have Bestial Blood, which you can play as a full campaign, so you can play all 4 in order, or you can play them as single ones if you like. We have the Purging Ritual, add some different stuff there. So each one just uses tiles from Hellscape, which is the base game. Entrance, the Greater Good, So I have a big map there. This is the only one that uses starts using the map center tile from this game. And then we have the demon dragon himself, which adds an extra board and an extra way to fight him with magma zones. Yeah, so he's kind of interesting. So it also has this other rules in here for fighting him. So where are they? So you're going to add these Draconic Skills. We're going to add these various skills you can get throughout the game. So it says, in order, so it says, during the darkness phase, after resolving regular effects at the top of the track, if you land on one of the glow symbols. So if we look at the track here, a little bit closer up, so we're going to have Draconic Skills here, Draconic Markers, and then Influences. So the top is kind of like your regular like rewards and spawns, and the bottom are the dragon effects tempting you. And you flip to the other side, there's just some other manipulations there. So you get to the dragon skills, you get draw one new draconic skill to become available. There's always 3, so you get an option of which one you want. Sometimes you gain markers, which will affect various things. And then Draconic Manipulation. Each non-KO'd hero rolls to check if the effects are applied to their Draconic skills after resolving the following steps, and you do some different things there. And then there's a Nightmare. You have to fight the dragon himself in his lair on page 4, which we'll look at. So Draconic Skills are all going to have 2 options. The top one's going to be a light colored one, which is your bonus. The bottom black one's going to be what happens when they get that manipulation. So they're going to possibly, like, hey, I get a bonus dragon skill, but I'm going to get hurt by it. The Cultist mob, as I said, can only be used when using the Draconic track. They appear regularly throughout these quests. Before starting spawns, place the Cultist mob on top of their respective decks. Deal Draconic Markers to heroes, and return to the top of the decks when killed. So they're always going to be on the deck, always going to be reoccurring. So they're probably really fun and unique with this campaign, but it just sucks. It's a character you can't use in other zones. Then there's Dragon's Nightmare, which is the big thing of the game. It's a special encounter added to the game when playing with the Draconic track. Always takes place after round 5, before all players roll for dragon manipulation. All non-KO'd heroes are taken to the dragon's lair and must try to retrieve as much loot as they can before the dragon destroys the lair, killing everyone in it. The quest is resumed after heroes escape the dungeon lair. Heroes KO'd stay in the dungeon and do not participate in the encounter. So take Nightmare Dashboard, and you take the tile, take the Demon Dragon miniature and Runestone tokens, and each one. So we're going to get a special encounter card here, which we'll set this down to look at. So this is the dragon's encounter thing. So what it does, it says on the back, it's going to show how to set this up. So you're going to set this up with a special tile. So the dragon starts near one of the magma zone ends on the card. So we'll zoom back out. Here's our board, big dragon magma board. 4 stones on the outside, bunch of magma in the middle. Obviously, heroes can't walk on magma. So you're going to place stones on the outside of these tiles, and it says place 1 stone per hero in the starting zone. Each hero starts in this zone, so you just start on one of their own stones. And you place ruins on the 4 corners. It says, at any moment, if there are no dragon stones in the dungeon, the quest ends in defeat. If all non-KO'd heroes escape, return to the quest. Each hero has 2 actions. Move 1 zone, pick up 1 empty dragon stone, up to 1 zone away. Trade dragon stone in your zone. Drop a face-down dragon stone up to 1 zone away. Escape if you have a ruin matching your current zone. So we'll look at some tokens here. So we're going to have all these stones, are different stones there, plus some other, there's your Draconic Markers, and there's your little rune stones, the 4 different symbols, the circle, the chicken foot, the triangle, and the star. And on the back of your stones here, there's 2 for each. But some also have some treasures, some have some Draconic Skills. So you're going to be trying to pick up the ones that match and then get to that zone. So if you pick up the star, you're going to have to head to the star ruin, and that's how you escape that dungeon. Yeah, it's just a little mini encounter you have to play during this mode. And then the demon says he can't be defeated, he can't even be fought. So it says he just has an activation. He has Earthquake, add 1 Draconic marker to each hero in a corner zone. Move counterclockwise to destroy a dragon stone in a zone with the most stones. KO any hero standing on it. Yes, you kind of want to hide out in the inside until you're ready to jump out and grab them stones and get the KO'd ones, get the thing. But then you want to try and just escape as quickly as possible. He has Fire Breath, add 1 Draconic marker and 1 fire to each hero in the line of sight. Move clockwise, destroy a dragon stone in a zone with the most stones, KO any hero standing on it. And Dragon Leap, add 1 Draconic marker to each hero in the tile. Move up to the opposite edge, destroy dragon stone in a zone with the most stones, KO any hero standing on it. So someone's going to be like, hey, I have this one. You're going to grab it, and then you might move it somewhere else and drop it so he doesn't try and kill you. It's a fun little interesting gimmick, because you want to try and grab as many treasures as you can, but you also don't want to stick around too long, because he'll just murder you. And then you just start back in the dungeon murder. And there's a bunch of other rules in here for this, but that's the basis of that. And then there's possible loot you can get off them different things. Alright, so that's the rules. Those are the tokens. We looked at the map. We'll look at the other side of the map quick as well. Just look at the other tiles. So here's the other tile we get. There's a pentagram with the dragon skull in there before we're trying to resurrect him. And the candles lit. So that's the other half of the map. So then we're going to look at our mobs. So we have our cultists here. We'll zoom back up to those. So we are going to get the all the levels for them, so you can start with the basis. We have our different cultist miniatures. We have the regular minions, so running around with some daggers up high. They're about to stab whoever comes near them. And then, of course, we have the leader, who has the book, and the little tiny sacrificial dagger. Alright, and then what do the cultists do? So they have 2 health, 1 blue defense. When the cultist is killed, instead of discard it, place it back on top of their respective deck. Combat 1 claw, add 1 draconic mark to the attacking or defending hero. And then just the stack to go up. 5 health, 6 health. And then when they get to level 10, they still stay the same, but now they have 9 health, 4 blue, and 2 green defense dice. Which not super hard to kill. Not definitely the most powerful. But they will be a pain in the ass just because they're gonna always keep coming back, especially since lots of quests involve having to kill so many of them, or if they get to certain spots, they can win the match. So they're gonna be hard. So they're gonna be a pain to deal with. So they're probably really fun for the sake of the campaign. It's just the whole thing with them having to, just with them having to be tied directly to that campaign mode and everything, and tied directly to this. So here's Grunding Gel or Gels, the Demon Dragon's one-shot version. So if you want to fight him just by himself, he's a 35 health, 5 blue dice, 1 black defense. Combat, 1 claw, add 1 draconic marker to the attacking or defending hero. In magic range, 2 yellow, 2 orange, and 2 black dice. His darkness progression. All icons below follow the same rules for the dragon follow the same rules from the dragon track. So you're gonna have those. I don't think you get rid of the dragon track for him, I'm guessing. But he has roll 3 black dice. He gets flame breath. Place him in the opposite quadrant. All heroes in its tile and adjacent tiles take 1 fire. Resolve all fire using orange dice. Tail whip. Place him in the next quadrant. All heroes with the most health on it or on the adjacent tile with 1 damage. Flaming Paw. Place him in the opposite quadrant. And attack all heroes with the most health in it or on its adjacent tiles, 2 damage to them. And the demon inside. Place him in the next quadrant. All heroes immediately take 1 Draconic and then resolve Draconic Manipulation. He kills 1 cultist minion and heals 5 if possible. Then he has his campaign mode side, which he gets 60 health. 3 blue, 4 green, 1 black dice. And his magic attack is now 2, 2, 2, and 2. And then all his stuff stays the same for that. So, what do they mean by quadrants? So, this is how he moves around this map. In this particular one, he's going to move from quadrant to quadrant. Because he's so big, he's going to take up 4 sides of a map, so the other outside L shape is open. But that's how he moves around. So it says the boulders in the quadrant. The boulder zone of the quadrant the dragon is standing in can't be accessed by heroes there. Well, if a dragon moves to a zone with a hero or enemy standing in it, they take 1 damage and place in any non-adjacent magma zones. So if they're standing in this zone, he's going to kick them to one of the other sides. But it's also going to hurt enemies. Most of the dragon's ability makes its target to adjacent tiles it owns. Are the tiles that have zones adjacent to the quadrant is standing in. So that means if he's here, his adjacent tiles are these 2 and these 2. So that's the only safe spot from him. So that's actually pretty crazy that he can only... Basically, he's on the map. There's only one free spot when he hits those. Enemies and heroes except the dragon can't enter magma during the boss fight. The dragon cannot be moved by any effects. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy how he works for a boss fight. He takes up so much room. It's not even like they give him like 2-3 tiles that he can move around. So it says like he starts in quadrant 1, he's placed in the next quadrant, moves clockwise. He plays an opposite, moves him diagonal. Heroes can use any type of attacks and do not need a line of sight when attacking the dragon. They still need to be on the specified boulder zone. So that's just some different ruins. That's just different effects. I'm not going to get into all that specifics on that. So the other thing we didn't look at too much was the dragon manipulation, which has been mentioned a bunch. So when they get that dragon manipulation, they discard all their draconic markers. For each discarded marker, they roll 1 black die. For each claw rolled, applies negative effects from their skills once. The hero decides in which order they resolve their skills, but each skill must be resolved before moving to the next one. Tailed heroes simply discard all their effects with no effect. So that's why the draconic markers can be bad. You're going to keep forcefully gaining all these dragon skills, and then they're going to, so here's the dragon skills, you're going to forcefully be getting all of them, and then they're going to turn around and make you have to suffer for it. And there's no way of getting rid of those. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at all those. So we have Dragon Claw, 1 yellow die, then discard 2 mana. You can gain a Tail Whip, which gives you an orange dice, but you take a wound. Dragon Breath, lag fire, but you take fire. So it's kind of, bosses are kind of sort of the opposite. Dragon Wings, you get 1 movement point, but move 2 zones towards the furthest portal. Mind Control, 1 extra attack. Attack another hero in the same zone if possible. Use only attack and defense dice. Dragon Focus, you get a reroll, but apply the effects of another Draconic skill from one of the available to acquire. Draconic Regeneration, heal 2, but now you take 1 frost damage, or frost. Scaled Sting, plus 1 blue defense. Move to the closest mob not in your zone, 1 zone towards you. Bestial Recovery. Recover action also gives you 1 health or 1 mana, but you take 1 wound and discard 1 mana. Wing Flap. You may move the enemy zone by 1, or move the furthest 2 enemy zones towards the zone if possible. Increase size, max health. Open a door of the closest chamber if not possible, take 1 wound. Daydream, plus 1 action. The bag is take 1 frost and fire. And then Fear. Add 1 frost to an enemy in magic range. All heroes move 1 zone towards the furthest portal. So those are your base ones. Now if you're playing the campaign mode, you're going to add all these other ones in. Oh, never mind. We have more. We have... Sorry, I guess I got this mixed up a bit. Alright, so we also have... Are these just duplicates of all the other ones? Yes, we have 2 of each of these. So you have another Dragon Claw Tail Whip. So you have 2 of each Dragon skill that you can get. And then we have the campaign ones, which you add depending on when it tells you to add them. Get this to focus a little bit better. Alright, so we have Fear. Add 1 frost to an enemy in magic range. Move all heroes 1 zone towards the furthest portal. I think lots of these are going to be the same. So Dragon Speed. Move 1 action, move 2 zones towards the closest enemy not in your zone. Beast Hunter. Deal wounds equal to your level to any 1 roaming monster in line of sight. Activate the closest roaming monster. Pawn Crush. Kill 1 minion on your tile. Add 1 minion to the closest mob. Protective Influence. Get a green die. Defense. Heal the closest wounded enemy by 4. Burning Blood. Attack 1 red die. Take 2 wounds. Dragon Speed. So just another copy of each one. And you can tell they're the campaign because it's a campaign skill and they have the little dragon icon. So it's kind of fun. Just extra little bonuses for playing that. Then we're also going to get some extra mob items to go with our cultists. So we're going to have 1 common item for level 1 to 2. So at least this is one upside because you could add these into any mode. But we have the Dragon Amicon. All heroes in magic range have plus 1 attack. You get range, magic range plus 1. We have the 3 to 4. So we're going to get 1 Dragon Axe. This is a rare item. One-handed dual wield, ranged attacks gain plus 1, and you can either melee for 1 yellow or range for 2 yellow. Our level 5 item becomes an epic. We have the Dragon Staff. 2-handed, double your attack in magic range. 2 orange dice. Then the next one, 6 to 7, are just upgraded versions. So we now have the upgraded Dragonomicon. All heroes in magic range have plus 2 attack, and you get rolled 1 red die instead. The 8 to 9 gives you the better Dragon Axe. It's dual wield range, 1 orange, and you get 1 yellow and orange for melee, and yellow and red for range. And then finally, level 10, which are always legendary items. Get the Dragon Staff, 2-handed, double your attack in magic range, 1 of each colored die, yellow, red, and orange. So that's pretty fun there. Some extra items, not a bunch of them. But But that is what we would have for this set. I believe we went through everything. Yep. Alright, so that's what we'd have for Master Darkness 2, the Demon Dragon. So if you're looking for a really fun and interesting boss battle and campaign where you have to fight against this dragon all the time, and deal with these cultists, it's kind of a neat, enclosed campaign. Or one-shot missions if you just want to try little one-shot battles. Definitely fun, something fun and different. A couple extra items. I'd say overall, though, if you're buying it just to expand into other parts of your games, it's probably not as worth it. Because, unless you, again, want to just break the rules and add, these dragon skills and stuff like that in there. You can add the dragon track to any single thing and just play it that way if you want. You don't have to use the cultist with that. It's just not using the cultist means you're not getting any of that dragon manipulation. You're just basically giving them skills away. So that's kind of the only thing, is if you want to use the dragon skills, you're supposed to use the draconic track. Means then you have to add the cultist. So it's adding half of this campaign into every other campaign versus just adding a component. But at least now you have an idea of what's in there and whether it's worth it, especially now if you wonder why you're paying so much money for it. It's mainly for the big giant-ass miniature dragon. Alright, so our big dragon's going to say, see you later, check out our next videos.